every experience will pass. A love once felt seems to be lost. Thought comes in with this or that. The bliss makes space for feeling flat. We're holding on to at all cost. It's so simple, it's bizarre. Love is who you really are. Love is freedom, love is truth, love is consciousness, it's you. You're not that old repertoire. There is nothing outside of love. There is only you. Everywhere you look, everything you touch, every experience, it is all a plain you. There's sometimes clarity, sometimes smoke. You're sometimes rich, you're sometimes broke. You're going up, you're feeling down. It looks so great, but now you're drowned. Can't you see it's all a joke? Because there is nothing outside of love. There is only you. Everywhere you look, everything you touch, every experience, it is all a plain you. There is nothing outside of love. There is only you. Everywhere you look, everything you touch, every experience, it is all a plain you. It is all a plain you. It is just a game in you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to those joining me on the Zoom here, and then also those who are watching the live stream on YouTube or the recording of the live stream. In future, if you want to actually participate and ask a question or have a dialogue, then join the Zoom. Yeah, so thank you very much to those who are here. And today's theme is, do we need to practice being present? So, what an interesting question. But before we get into that, let's start by just taking a few moments to tune in with how we're feeling in this moment. So if you just get comfortable and close your eyes. You can take some deeper breaths into the belly. And with each breath, bringing more and more attention to what is here now in this present experience, whatever it is for you. And that may be noticing a particular physical sensation or emotion. It may be the sounds. Whatever is in your direct experience, we're just noticing it, acknowledging it, just the way it is. Nothing needs to be changed or fixed. Nothing is missing or needed. It's simply meeting whatever is here. And if there is thought, commentary, we meet that too, without giving it any more attention or value than any other experience arising presently. And in this moment, there's nothing to do. We're simply noticing what is here already, what is already being done, what is already filling the space. You might notice any areas of effort that we might be making, whether it's physically, emotionally, or mentally. Any trying or pushing or any kind of effort, even subtly. And there's no right or wrong, we just notice it. Trying to do something or be someone. And then simply noticing it, we already bring some relaxation to it without trying to do relaxation. And we can gently bring our attention back to the sensations of sitting on this chair, feet on the ground, the breath. And then when you're ready, we can open our eyes. So our theme today is, do we need to practice being present? And I feel like we are so used to making effort in some way that we assume that in this too, we need to make effort. We need to make effort to become present or to do presence, to be someone who is present. And actually, presence, the presence that I'm pointing to, is another word for who you are already. But for the mind, this is radical. This is shocking even, because it somehow assumes that I am separate from presence. I'm not that, and I need to become that, or I need to try to maintain that. Or perhaps there are memories of having been present, and the mind wants to get back there, to do it again, to bring it into a permanent state of some kind for me, right? That's what the job of the mind is, to do something for me to be able to be someone in the world. But true presence is our nature. It is our most natural state. Everything is already happening presently. In fact, it cannot not be present. The nature of the mind is that it deals in time. Me moving along a timeline of past, present, and future. And on that timeline, in fact, there is no present. There's generally around about now or recently. But the mind cannot know presence. As soon as the mind says, this is presence, it's already not present. As soon as there's any kind of grasping an experience of presence, it's already not that. So true presence cannot be known by the mind. It can only speak generally, and generally is not it. It can also only speak about an experience in time, an experience of expansion, perhaps, an experience of less thought, of perhaps less disturbance, apparent disturbance, or discomfort, and therefore a preferable experience for me. And then the mind wants to grasp that again. So when we practice being present, although it can be a useful practice to a point, it inevitably becomes a mind game because, as I said, the mind cannot grasp true presence. The practice of trying to be present can be helpful in seeing that I'm not my thoughts. Yeah, so when there are thoughts that seem to fill the space or to be recurrent circling thoughts that cause pain and discomfort, and then we practice stepping out of those thoughts and focusing on the present experience of the sensations or the sounds or the images around you. This is a very useful practice to create more of an expansion and less of this contractive experience of believing in your thoughts and making thoughts more important. But as we keep practicing this, we are essentially starting to believe that a certain experience is better than another experience. In other words, the experience of less thought is now believed to be preferable, or that is presence. And then when there are thoughts, that is not presence. And I don't like that. I don't want that. Which creates this split or separation and reinforces this search, the seeking for something better for me. This trying, this constant effort to become present and to escape experiences of discomfort where there might be more thoughts. But if we see that actually every experience is happening presently, no matter what, then even the experiences of a busy mind, discomfort, circling thoughts, is all happening already presently. This is the end of effort. And for the mind, this is radical, because it wants to become, it wants to fix the experience. It wants to become a better person, a more enlightened person. It wants to clear the space. It wants to clean up all the mess. But actually, in meeting the reality of the experience just the way it is, we meet presence. We meet who we really are as presence. We then see that no matter what the experience is, presence is undisturbed, unaffected by a busy mind or any uncomfortable sensations. It's not about the experience. It's not about fixing any experience. It's not even about giving any relevance to the experience. And I'm not to say that we dismiss the experience, but when we are fixated on endlessly trying to fix the experience, we are overlooking presence. We are overlooking the presence that is always present. And so it's not this mind game of endlessly trying to become. So eventually, if we've been practicing this practice of reminding ourselves to be present as much as we can, if we've been practicing that for a while, at a certain point, it's time to let that one go. So I'm not saying that you should never practice that. You practice that as long as you feel that it's useful to you. But at a certain point, you will see that it is feeding the me story. It is feeding the play of separation. It is feeding this effort to become more, better, to fill a gap that will never be filled by any experience. And so when you see that, you let it go. And then you start to see that all the mess that you were trying to clean up with this practice of trying to be present, it is all happening presently. And this is refreshing, actually. This is relaxing also, because it's the end of trying. And it's falling back into who you really are. Presence. Always untouched. Nothing to do. It's already here. There is no time. There's no past or future. Any past or future is only ever happening presently. The memories of the past happening presently. Imagination or planning for the future happening presently. Any thoughts about what about this or what about that happening presently. Any sensations happening presently. Everything is happening presently. There is no time, there is no space, there's no distance. It's not happening over there. It's happening presently here. Always here, in and as who I am. And any time this is available, in every moment, it is always available. to be acknowledged, to be seen, to be recognized. And we can't practice recognizing that. We can practice stepping out of thoughts, but eventually we have to see that the thought that says we need to step out of thoughts is also a thought. Any practice to become other than what is a mechanism to escape something that thought deems unacceptable, not included in this present experience. So when we meet what we have exiled, what we have apparently we've been believing is not included, and we welcome it home again and say that actually everything is always included, there's a deep relaxation. It may not fit your ideas of how your experience should be. It may not appear to be perfectly spiritual. It may not fit an experience of presence that you might have had in the past, in the apparent past. But you start to see the presence that is beyond all of that. Presence that you are. So, I'd love to hear from you. Yes, Christina.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Yeah. Do you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. So whatever is happening in presence, no matter if there are thoughts or there are hard feelings, it's just whatever is happening and for no reason and just to be met.
Yes. Yes. I mean, any reasons would be thoughts, right? And they may be interesting reasons. And there may be some relative truth to some of these reasons, but still it is simply happening. It's very simple, actually.
So it's no need to do nothing nothing to fix. It's just yeah.
Nothing to fix, but within presence, there is a continuous evolution happening presently. And of course, it doesn't make sense because there's no time, but there's this play as if there's time. And within that, there is a constant evolution, right? We are constantly learning and growing and changing, right? And within that, in knowing that I am always present, then we can start to see, we can start to look at this play of evolution with curiosity and see, well, okay, I'm always present, so I don't need to try to fix anything or do anything. But let's look at this with curiosity. Like, I wonder why I'm living like, all contracted or making this me story really important. Why would I do that when everything is happening presently? Why am I making some past story really important when actually it's only ever happening presently? And this is not a process that happens with the mind, although the mind can get involved, but it's a process of unraveling that happens presently also.
Mhm.
You know, as we see that time is not real, then we play in time. Right? So we see that nothing is moving anywhere, then there's a play, knowing that it is not going anywhere, it is simply arising now. Then we take this play of evolution lightly. It doesn't mean that I need to do something to become someone. I'm presence that is aware and watching this evolution of this someone in time, in apparent time.
Yes, but if you become this present who is watching, then the mind tries to watch and to find out.
That's why it's nothing for the mind, you know. What I'm pointing to is hard to really put into words, that over, you know, jumps over the mind, because of course everything I say here the mind can take and turn into another practice, another doing or becoming, you know, and that's its nature. And it's only when we actually recognize this presence that we are always, and we see that the mind can never grasp that, then we take those thoughts of grasping and trying and practicing just much more lightly. We see that the mind, all the mind can do is try to do something. It's trying to help, it's trying to fix, it's trying to become. But if we see that there's no one who needs to become anything, because you are already everything you ever need to be, because you are presence already, then we look at the mind with love and compassion, you know, and we also don't take it so seriously. This trying to become is just on the level of the mind. It's not the ultimate truth.
Thank you.
Betty.
Oh. I feel frustration with that. It's like there is nothing to do, and sometimes I feel in spiritual path, it makes me busy to try to clean or to fix. But when you say all is already present, it makes me so what to do now?
Yeah. Look, you can practice being present. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's just that it will be about this endless cleaning up of your experience. So but if it's helpful for you, if it brings you a nice experience and it works for you, then why not? It can be supportive. It's just that in what I'm saying, we are taking a step further back, you know, and looking at the nature of reality that is always present. Now, within that, you can practice anything. And a lot of these practices can be very supportive. It's just, that's not what I'm speaking about.
Yeah. Yeah, but what you're speaking about and trying to be present, is it can reinforce how do you say in English?
Reinforce.
You reinforce the spiritual and his character.
I mean, if you take it lightly, if you don't take it seriously, so it could be that practicing being present, in other words, practicing seeing, okay, I'm believing a thought. Okay, oh, stop that. Maybe you might use that practice that I've talked about before, this imagining a stop sign.
Yeah.
Stop,
It's
right?
yeah.
And then, oh, here I am, right? That is a practice, very simple. Anytime there are circling thoughts, stop, and then here you are. Now you can practice that. It's nice. I mean, it just brings you back to what is happening right here. Anytime you're in busy thoughts, in any circling thoughts or anytime. But if you take that practice seriously, like to mean that when you are believing, when you are experiencing a lot of thoughts, that is wrong, and that you should practice hard to become clear of thoughts, then that would reinforce some identity of a perfect spiritual person that you hope to be one day. But if you take it lightly, as almost like a game, right? That I'm in this busy thoughts. Okay, stop. Oh yeah, here I am. It's light. It doesn't have to be a serious practice. It's just a useful tool to support your experience in the world.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, okay. So we don't need that, really, what you say.
No, we don't need that. No, because who you are is already present. But in your experience, you might find that in your experience, you are believing your thoughts a lot. And if you're believing your thoughts a lot, then yes, this practice can be helpful to a point. But what things like just don't take it too seriously. That's the bottom line, really. Just don't take it too seriously. It's the seriousness that reinforces this becoming. If you use any practice, there are many, many beautiful practices, right? And why not try any of them? Whatever works for you, whatever feels good for you to support your experience. But it's the hope that by practicing that, you will become a better person one day. You'll become enlightened, or you'll become whatever. That is what reinforces the separate me identity. But you can practice, and it's just a way of supporting the human in the world. Then great, why not?
Like the meditation.
Yes. Meditation is beautiful practice, but if you are meditating in order to become enlightened, that's when it's time to give up meditation. But if you're practicing meditation because you love just dropping into the silence in yourself, or if it's a supportive way to spend your time, or to wake up in the morning and do that, or before you go to bed, or whatever, then why not? It's beautiful.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. essentially we're speaking about practicing something that would not have a goal, right? You know, so if you decide to practice being present or practice meditation or practice anything or dancing or anything, you do it without a goal. You do it simply because it feels good or feels right, or feels supportive, but without a goal, a serious goal for me. You could have a goal to improve this or improve that, but when it's for me, it starts to reinforce. When you take that me seriously, it starts to reinforce this identity. But actually, if you start to see that this me actually is only a play, as if we're pretending to be these humans in the world, then we can even play with having goals. But we all we just take it all very lightly, as we take the me lightly. Jean-Marc.
I have a problem with the recognition of my true nature, or knowing that I'm playing as if. That for me, that's the same. I, when you started speaking, yes, I remember something that happened to me a long time ago. I was fixing something very delicate, and I was really focused on that thing to do. And after that, I had the surprise to see that I wasn't there during this work. See, I was doing, and I didn't realize what was the meaning of that at the time. But I can say it never happened again, except maybe when I'm sleeping. But I'm not there to witness what happens now at that moment. So
I wonder whether it has happened actually more, but perhaps in that moment you had the thought afterwards that said, oh, there was no me there.
yes, but it
The
was
other,
me. It was me saying that. In
yeah, of
fact,
course. But maybe it's happened other times. But there just wasn't that thought that said, oh, look, that happened to me.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, those moments when we consciously acknowledge, that there's no me, there wasn't any me in that moment. But even when that thought came in saying there wasn't any me, even then there's no me. It's just that thought assumes I'm me, and I'm saying that there wasn't over there in that experience, there wasn't any me. but actually there's no me saying that thought. It's just a thought arising in emptiness. So the thought me doesn't mean that there is a me.
But the me doesn't want that, to recognize that it's not, it doesn't exist, in fact.
Yeah, it seems that this mechanism of me believing in me, or let's say emptiness or life itself, presence, whatever word we put to it, playing it a game of hide and seek with itself. That part of the game is like, don't see me, don't see me, like this, you know. And so the me, the apparent me, because there isn't one, says, you know, that's an experience of no me, but me is here again. But there's no me, it's just thought happening. Because anytime you stop to search for this me, right? If you ask yourself, who am I really when I don't believe in my thoughts?
There's no answer.
Yeah, there's no answer, right? There's only thoughts, or there's sensations, feelings, experience. But who's having this experience? Who does it belong to? It's just happening. And you can ask this about every thought, right? Even the thought that says, it's happening to me.
Mm.
Where is this? Who is this me?
I'm very aware of the thought, the process, the thoughts happening from nowhere. Not always, but it happens quite often. But it seems that it doesn't change this me idea.
Yeah, it doesn't need to. The me thoughts don't need to go away. They're just thoughts.
The me idea seems rooted in the body. It's
Say that again, sorry?
the me idea seems rooted in the body, and doesn't come from.
I would say that this idea that it's rooted in the body is true and not true, I feel, because in one way, the more we say that, the more we believe it. And then it feels like this fixed entity. And it's a way of actually reinforcing this belief in a me. But also, yes, there are sensations, physical sensations felt when you believe in this me. It can feel contracting or whatever it is, whatever is experienced. But it doesn't mean that that there is this separate me and you can't get rid of it, you know. It's just this playing as if there is this me. But anytime you check with a sensation, a physical sensation, who is it happening to? And thought will say me. But if you don't believe in that thought, it's just happening. So it's not rooted anywhere in anyone. It's sensations happening. In fact, the whole human is happening. So you could say that this human is a me. It's simply happening. But it's not a separate entity. It's playing at being this human. Life playing at being this human.
You are aware of it, not me. And when I say you, I don't know. I say that to screen. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there are those moments of conscious recognition, right, where the me is seen to not be a separate me. And then the me comes in saying, that was a special moment of recognition for me.
Mm.
But yeah, it doesn't need to be held on to. When it's recognized, it's enjoyed. That moment is a beautiful gift. But then the next thing happens. You know, even if the next thing is a thought.
Mm. I must say, then I don't confuse the sensations with me. When I feel in the body, it's just feeling in the body. And yes, me is not so present. It's yeah. I would say I'm questioning that. It's because I can't find it in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And in not finding it, it doesn't mean that those thoughts of me will just stop. They might go on. They inevitably will go on, because that's part of your human experience. But as you see that there is no actual separate me, then when those me thoughts come up, you can see, well, they're just a joke, because they're not referring to any actual me. So let them say me, 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 me.
Next level.
Doesn't
Yeah. Yes. Last thing. Yes, I think that fear reinforces the me for me. Yes. Yeah, I see. When I go outside in society or with the people I don't know very well, and the focus seems to be outside, not on my body especially, but um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm more aware of what's outside because of the potential danger. Yes, and,
Yeah, I mean, these me thoughts essentially are survival mechanisms for this human body. You know, I mean, the human lives in this world where all kinds of scary things can happen. You know, it's a jungle out there, right? And so these protection mechanisms are very natural, right? It's about surviving in the world.
and this state, there is no reason for them to disappear. This mechanism, these ideas, maybe.
There's no reason for them to disappear. There's no need for them to disappear in order to become perfectly enlightened or whatever. But in recognizing that there is no real separate me, and meeting fear or meeting whatever arises in your experience with the compassion of knowing that this is what's here, this is what's arising presently, whether I like it or not, or whether it feels good or not, then there is naturally, paradoxically, more relaxation, more of a sense of openness and welcoming and including everything that's here, and then feeling safer. in the world, but it doesn't have to be in any particular way. There's no process, there's no kind of timeline or process, step one, step two of this. It unfolds uniquely.
Mhm. Yes, I'm smiling because I don't know what I can expect from you from this teaching. Nothing.
All I'm doing in this teaching, this apparent teaching, is pointing to myself, you know,
Mhm.
again and again, in different words, in different ways. And myself is you, right? So I'm pointing to you again and again. And some words hit the mark and some don't, you know, and it, you know, we go on like that. Sometimes it touches something, and sometimes you'll misunderstand and you'll go off on a whole other tangent. And then maybe you'll realize by yourself, oh, it's not any of that. And we come back to thinking, well, actually, what the hell is she talking about? You know, come back to the to the beginning, which is actually, you know, what I'm pointing to: innocence, simplicity.
Important word for me from maybe my 20s.
Well, anytime you find yourself complicating anything or getting too serious about anything, just, you know, come back to simplicity. That's what it's all about. Keep it simple.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Well, unless anyone else has any more questions on this theme, we can end there for today. Yeah. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. And the next, in fact, from now on, we're going to hold these open meetings live streamed on Sundays, twice a month. So the next one will be on the theme, how to be in the world but not of it, on Sunday, the 23rd of March. So I look forward to seeing you then. And also just a reminder to book your place for the retreat. We have 2 retreats coming up, one in Portugal in April and another one in the Netherlands in July. And both of those are open for booking on my website. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. See you next time. Lots of